A world Link has explored has been transformed into a place with unfamiliar magic. The enemies are empowered by malice, possibly from when Ganondorf awoke from his slumber. The images Nintendo chose have undoubtedly generated a massive amount of excitement. Many of them are reminiscent of adventures Link has already had. How have the people of Hyrule and Hyrule itself changed since Breath of the Wild? Which elements of the story are being hinted at? What is possible with this green form of energy? I am Moxie, and this is Heavy Speculation. This episode is quick and dirty, and likely will not be up to my own impossibly high standards. However, I feel urgency to propose my initial thoughts before others may beat me to the punch. With that being said, the following theories will definitely be more crackpot. As per the title of the series, sometimes there won't be a ton of evidence. However, I feel like the Zelda community needs more fun, speculative theories to add to the conversations around these games. If you like Zelda lore, consider subscribing to the channel. It's free, and it helps a ton. Let's jump right on in. As I mentioned in my Blessing and the Curse of Magic video, electricity is closely tied to Farron and Farosh, both symbols representing Farore, the goddess of courage. The trailer begins with a thunderstorm, setting the tone for Tears of the Kingdom, which is set to be released in May. There are spotlights illuminating the towers. The Sheikah Towers could be upside down. This could be the Dark World, with light leaking to the fissures created by the towers. The atmosphere looks and feels different. There are these blue particles floating through the air, making this space seem otherworldly. Evidence of this could be found in this shot. The Bokoblins and Lizalfos appeared differently, just as empowered enemies appeared in A Link to the Past, in the Dark World. It is reminiscent of Ansel River, Maine, from Elden Ring. Being that it appears underground, large mushrooms and foliage fill the frame, and it's kind of dark and spooky. This shot is peculiar for a few reasons. These enemies are mining a rock that appears to have similar textures to the ones seen on the shrines. There is a large glowing object that appears to be impregnating this tree. Vines wrap around it and spiral upward. These are structures that resemble those seen in earlier trailers in the sky. There are these wisps in the corner. However, I'd like to circle back around to these in the later segment. Death Mountain appears to be dormant, except the massive amount of malice exploding from the top. The lava no longer appears in pools around the volcano. Magma falls in this shot. Since there are what appears to be malice particles, it would be a fair conclusion that this takes place somewhere around or inside of Death Mountain. This rail system likely gives Link access to the peak of the now dormant volcano. It is on the east side of the volcano, if you're wondering. Going west, Typhlo Ruins appears to have the darkness lifted from the area. There's seriously nowhere to even begin speculating what may have caused this. The Zonai structures in Typhlo and Thundra Plateau may be hiding secrets, as they both appear to have weightless structures above them. And there's this hole where Thundra Plateau would have been. Ludfos Bog was drained when Thundra was lifted in the air. The north and south Lomé labyrinths float in the distance, which leads to many more questions surrounding the purpose of these and all the other Zonai locations now levitating in the sky. The ground appears to be producing the glow, projecting the many images seen across the landscapes. This is evident as Link rides through the grass past Hyrule Castle. These may have been some kind of marker indicating a dungeon or a story area? Question mark? Hebra has a large storm concealing some sort of structure. I thought maybe I could see an upside down Triforce, but the quality sucks when trying to confirm this hypothesis. In later shots of the trailer, the structure appears to be broken into sets acting like some sort of ladder, likely to allow Link to scale the structures. Since other Zonai structures are airborne, The doors leading to the unregistered Leviathan could play a role in this area. Leviathan lived inside a thunderhead, which is curious considering the storm, the bones, and the door built by the Zonai. There's a deeper conspiracy around these, which I will explore in a later video. Branun, please forgive me if I mispronounced your name. I'm sorry, I didn't ask you the pronunciation when we talked. Is a new friend of mine, and we were researching this very subject together on Monday. Specifically why the door and the Leviathan appear here. We plan on organizing our thoughts around this and producing a video, as there is now more material to unpack around this. The skulls the bokoblins camped in may have received quite the upgrade. The structure is larger and may have horns on top. An interesting note about this shot, it takes place on I can't say it, slope, a reference to A Link to the Past. The last thing to note in this section is the divine beasts in the shrines are absent from the entire trailer. As I stated in my Blessing and the Curse of Magic video, Nintendo filed patents on December 15, 2021, featuring combat in the air and moving through terrain. The second trailer teased a new flamethrower weapon and an ability with his new hand, hinting that there will probably be more uses. With Elden Ring's success, I imagine the game being more combat heavy. Don't you look like a fool for making fun of me now. Get bent. A Gleeok seems to have a lease on the Bridge of Hylia. For those of you who don't know what a Gleeok is, it's a monster that resembles a dragon. They appear in the original Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Seasons, Minish Cap, and Phantom Hourglass. The heads can detach if hit enough, and can fight independently of the body until it's defeated. The Gleeoks in The Legend of Zelda and Phantom Hourglass have flaming heads. The one in Minish Cap is actually called a Gleerock, and only has one head. It's worth mentioning though. The Gleeok being on the Bridge of Hylia can't help but remind me of Dragon's Barrow Bridge from Elden Ring. The normal enemies seen in Breath of the Wild are empowered by mouths, exploding out from Hyrule Castle. There's a couple of new boys, like this fat boy with the sick little drip, and the Redeads. Hey yo. There are these holes all over him, including in his hand. Link's arm gets exposed. This is likely the moment when it's corrupted. Then, the sword is already covered in malice, somewhat confirming my suspicions about Demise existing within the Master Sword. Not sure what that means, but it's worth putting in the air for a new conversation about Ganondorf. There is a very revealing piece of evidence that Demise is still alive and well. Going frame by frame, reveals a face I instantly recognized. We speculate here, and whether you believe this to be the face of Demise or not, this shot serves no other purpose. This could be the moment when the Master Sword breaks under the pressure. The point remains that there is some loose evidence supporting many of my earlier claims. If Demise is back, then the explosions and the empowered enemies begin to make more sense. Let's circle back around to those wisps. These are souls, which have been featured in both Twilight Princess and Breath of the Wild. This lends support to this place being the underworld, or possibly low roll, or, it could be the dark world. Heck, it could even be the Silent Realm. Another possibility, given the distinctive history and the cultures of the Zone and the Twilight share, it could be the Twilight Realm. However, I lean more on the side that it's the Dark World. As Demise's and Ganondorf's ultimate goal has been to create a world of darkness. The deity, many have speculated to be Hylia, could have more support with these images, considering they certainly look proportional to Zelda. It is evident in the carved jewelry appearing to be abstractly designed to resemble this figure. A Hinox wears this necklace, leading me to believe there may be more powerful versions of the luminous stones. given they appear much more green. It reminds me of the green-blue energy sealing Ganondorf and the energy in Link's hand. Now let's get to the technology segment, and this is just going to be unscripted excitement. So the green energy, man. The green energy. First off, the arm has an aimbot. The arm itself, the arm. Look, watch. Okay. The little circle is full already. Then the green energy builds up and he shoots the arrow and it re-aims itself. There's tracking. It has an aimbot. So there's like two propellers sitting on the edge of Elden Volcano. I don't know if you can just pick these up throughout the world and craft them. To me, these two propellers existing is proof that you can just craft stuff from now on. I really don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to pick up random items and create a contraption for traveling. So it's going to be like redstone for Zelda. There's this red cube tech thing. Not really sure if it's meant to be burying something underneath it or if it's its own thing. But something worth noting. Hopefully someone smarter than me will decipher this writing. There are people who are all over this, so it'll get figured out eventually. The green energy comes out of his hand in like a spiral, which is very interesting, and it controls this access thingy just like the ones in Breath of the Wild. One of the coolest things about the trailer was this Jace hammer, but it has a dragon head. You know, I just think that's really cool addition, like a ranged but melee weapon. I mean, I'm assuming it's melee, but I guess we have never seen him bonk anybody with it. It looks like there's this bluish Sheikah eye, and there's the green writing on the inside, and the green glowing on the outside, the orange and green. The orange and green reminds me of the mining facilities, so that's something to note there as well. Green energy! Green energy! This green thing on the ceiling could be like the structure that we see with Ganondorf, possibly. It could be like a green ancient furnace. Who really knows? There's probably no Sheikah tablet because this looks like magnesis. There's a freaking Zonai tractor. Zonai tractor. Zonai tractor. By the way, absolutely confirmed crafting system. Like, there's no doubt. Like, they really can't fuck this up at this point, right? The hero special green putty. The green goo putty. It's in the tractor, on the hot air balloon, and on the drone. Overall, very cool. 10 out of 10. Can't wait. They could charge me $5,000 and I'd probably still buy the game. Let's all get hype. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed these crackpot ideas, then please remember to like, follow, subscribe, do all that stuff. I also stream on Twitch, guys. Anywho, here's another viewing of the trailer. Enjoy.
Rise, my servants. Sweep over Hyrule. Eliminate this kingdom and her allies. Leave no survivors!
Link, I am not sure you'll be able to stop him. Please, lend him your power.